If you are considering doing any of Faith Ann's workshops, especially the Curiosity Workshop, I highly recommend it. This is for you if you know your business is something special, but you just don't really know how to talk about it or how to create curiosity around it.
Welcome to Business Networking and Referrals. I'm Faith Ann Basor, founder of the Networker's Tour Guide. I believe every networking conversation holds an opportunity. You just have to know how to recognize it and create more of them. That's what this podcast is all about. Let's get started. I have another solo episode for you. We're going to talk about the emotional resilience that's required in networking. Before we jump in, I've got to share about the Curiosity Workshop. If you want to have more comfortable conversations in networking and have people leaning in, asking you about your business, you're invited to join the workshop. It starts on September 4th. There's still time to grab your seat, and there'll be a link in the show notes to join. Today, we're going to dive into the inevitability that goes along with networking. What are some things that are inevitable? And what is the emotional resilience that you need to make networking part of your business development over the long haul? Now, I want to start with a little funny thing that my husband and I do. I grew up with this phrase, guess what? So when good things would happen in our house, we wanted to share with somebody who didn't yet know, we would say, guess what? Or you'll never guess what just happened. Guess what just happened? Guess who I just saw? In my marriage, this phrase has found its way into our everyday talk. So when Dave would come home, I would say, guess what happened today? Or guess who I just talked to? And then he started going, wait a second, let me guess. So the idea for me is if I say, guess what just happened? You're supposed to say, what? And let me tell you what just happened. But he started saying, okay, I want to guess. And then it would just prolong my getting to tell him the good news. I'm really careful. I don't do that anymore. I don't say to him, guess what just happened? Or guess what I found out just now? Or guess who called? Or guess who sent me an email? I don't do that because I know he's going to say, now, wait a second. And then he starts listing all of these silly things. Well, this episode is going to be here's what's inevitable, but guess what? And I get to tell you, and I don't have to wait for you to respond. Number one, this is inevitable. I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying it's likely, very likely, that as you network, number one, you're going to get stood up. It's happened to me a few times. What's the longer game when you are going to get stood up? It's part of the game. It's just part of it. Sometimes people forget. Sometimes things come up. And sometimes real emergencies come up and you're just kind of last on the totem pole. We need to give people second chances. Just simple as that. We need to give them second chances. Maybe not third and fourth chances. And we do everything we can to set up this one-to-one for success. Remind the day before. Give good directions. I just had a reel on Instagram on that. Give good directions. Do everything you can to set up the meeting for success. Make sure that if you're saying a coffee shop that's really popular that has several locations, if that's what you're inviting your networking friend to, you tell them which coffee shop because they're automatically going to think of the one they know. But if that's not necessarily the one you know, then now you have a mismatch. And sometimes you're just going to get flat stood up. So give people second chances, not third or fourth, but second. That's going to be helpful for you when you bake it in. It's baked in. It's just part of it. Then you're not so disappointed. Don't take it personally. Something may have come up. You're going to give that person another chance. And then you'll have a better picture of whether or not you want to continue or just let this person or this relationship kind of drift away. That's fine. But guess what? You're going to be mentioned in rooms you aren't in. So yeah, you may get stood up and a one-to-one. But guess what? Networking allows other people to mention you in rooms you're not in. And it happens to me over and over and over again. Someone's going to be in a networking room and they're going to be talking about what you do, and you're not going to be there. And a client, a prospect, a networking partner is going to say, "Oh, you should talk to Mary." Recently, I was at a networking meeting, and there was a banker that runs in our circles, and somebody mentioned this banker's name, and like person after person after person, "Oh, I love her. Oh, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. Yes, I've worked with her. I've worked with her." And like 5 or 6 people just couldn't stop talking about this particular banker that networks with us. She has decided to network on behalf of her company, her bank. She's decided to build relationships with the women in her community that have businesses. And so she's being mentioned in rooms she's not in. And you will too. Okay, number 2, you'll miss a one-to-one. So inevitably, as you network, you will forget. You will double book. You may not ever actually miss a one-to-one, but it's likely there's going to be some time in your networking experience that you'll double book, and you'll have to reach out to the person and say, "I'm so sorry, I have double booked myself. Are you willing to reschedule?" And if you do that, you provide the alternate day and time. Do not just say, "Hey, we need to reschedule. I'm so sorry, I double booked," and leave it at that. Or, "Hey, I'm so sorry, we double booked, or I double booked. Can we reschedule to next week?" So that's not good enough. Now you're putting all of the work on the person, and you've already double booked. So you've already had one mishap with this person. Now the second mishap happens when you just say, "Can we reschedule to sometime next week?" And now you're making that person go into their calendar and find the alternate day and time. When you either miss your one-to-one altogether, or you double book, but you realize it before the one-to-one happens, and you have to reach out to somebody and ask to reschedule, you provide the alternate day and time. So it sounds like, "Hey, Mary, I am so sorry. I double booked. Turns out that I have another appointment on Tuesday when we were scheduled to meet that I just can't miss. Would you be willing to reschedule our coffee to," and you say the exact day and time. Or you could give a range. "Would you be willing to reschedule our coffee to Friday, August whatever, after 1 o'clock, in between 1 and 4. So when you have to reschedule, you are the one who gives the alternate day and time. Be the current of a lazy river that draws and keeps the right people close to you. And one of the ways you can be that current and make people easily go along with you in the relationship is you make it easy for them. You do the heavy lifting when it comes to scheduling, especially if you have to reschedule. Inevitably, you're going to either double book or you're going to miss a one-to-one altogether. Apologies all around. Here's another quick tip. When you have to apologize, we don't need a long list of why. Just apologize. "I am so sorry that I stood you up. You deserve better. Are you willing to reschedule with me?" Not, "I'm so sorry, my kid's this," or "I didn't get to this thing soon enough," or "this meeting ran long." Just, "I'm so sorry." And then you can add, "You deserve better," if you want to, or just, I'm very sorry. And then ask if they're willing to reschedule. But guess what? For every one-to-one you miss, or every appointment that you double book, you learn how to give yourself grace. And I think it's important. It's an important lesson to learn that you're not perfect, and to be resilient in these situations where you have to ask people to forgive you. I think it's so important to learn how to ask people to forgive you and learn that resilience of moving on, seeing that person the very next week or the very next month that you fell short with. You're going to do that. You're going to fall short. Relationships are messy sometimes. And the more people you meet, the more likely it is you're going to have these instances where you fall short. And learning how to forgive yourself and learning the etiquette, to restore the rapport and then forgive yourself and not wallow in your imperfection is a great skill. It's so helpful. Always moving forward and learning along the way. That's what we need to be doing when we're networking. We're trying to build our businesses through referrals. It means we're moving forward, picking lessons up along the way with this future-facing mentality, this resilience. So it's likely you're going to fall short sometimes with people, and you're going to have to see them again. But it's inevitable, and let's learn to let it not be the thing that derails us. Let's learn to keep moving forward like that current. Here's something else that's inevitable. I'm not saying 100% sure, but likely, highly likely, you'll receive a bad referral. You'll receive a referral, and it just from beginning to end, it's messy, it's not clear, and it's a headache. So what happens when you receive a bad referral? Well, you got to communicate with the person who sent the referral to you. Make sure you're communicating, still being grateful, still thanking them, and saying, this job didn't really go as well as we would have liked. Explain why, and try and paint a little bit of a better picture for that person who sent the referral of the kind of client that you love working with. But guess what? You could be one introduction away from the best referral you've ever received. This happened to us in our window cleaning business. This happened to me in the Networkers Tour Guide. One introduction away from a really great client. That's waiting for you as well. Stay in the game. Continue to look for ways to help other people. Continue to build curiosity about your own business. Continue to think of ways you can elevate conversations, answer questions better, the questions you know you're going to be asked. Think of better answers for those questions, or you can join the workshop and learn. I'll show you some. You can listen to last week's episode 91, for 2 questions that you know you're going to be asked. Get yourself a better answer. Just continue to stay in the game. Continue to go to the meetings. Continue to see what you can learn about other people. Continue to connect people. It will pay off, and you'll get that introduction. And that prospect, that referral will turn into a client relationship that you're going to love. Now, here's one that is really hard, really tests your emotional resilience. It's likely that you'll be spoken of poorly. Someone's going to speak poorly about you, and either through the grapevine you'll find out, or it'll be online. It'll just be right there out for everybody. You'll get a bad review. Somebody will speak poorly of you. Someone will misrepresent you. It is part of the game. My dad, years and years and years and years ago, told me a story of he was on a construction site and he did ceilings for a living. And his boss was approaching a group, him and some other men, was kind of approaching them, and his boss stopped, and my dad could see his boss, but the other men were facing away, so they couldn't see him. And one of the men started bad talking the boss, and as soon as the boss heard that, he stopped, and he looked at my dad, and he gave him a shake, like a head back and forth no motion, like, don't let them know that I heard that. and he just waited for them to stop. And then he walked in as if nothing happened. That takes a lot of emotional resilience to be that comfortable in your skin that if you actually hear it in real time happening, what his boss did was he just had the grace to let everybody save face. Now, he probably took that information that he was being talked poorly about. He didn't forget it, I'm sure, but he didn't cause a scene, and he knew they were employees. And so employees inevitably complain about their boss, and he just decided in that moment not to make it an issue and let everybody continue on. I thought that was a really good story. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we all had that kind of resilience and confidence? We don't always. It's hard. It's hard when we work hard and we feel like we're putting good out in the world, and then it gets back to us that someone's not happy with us, or we watch it happen. Really hard. And I really don't have a whole lot of guidance for this. It's just hard all around. It's just tough. I would hope that if I were in that same situation where I was approaching a group and I heard someone say something poorly about me, and there was a way I could just stop and not have to make it come to light, and I had enough confidence just to stop and either wait for them to move on and then join the conversation, or just turn around and go find another conversation to join. I hope I would have enough resilience to do that. I really don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't have a lot of guidance for you on that. Just I'm coming alongside you and saying, yeah, it really hurts. It sucks. But guess what? You're going to have messages from people. You're going to have text messages or Facebook messages, the most wonderful messages from your clients saying, thank you so much for all your help. Thank you for being you. You brought an energy to the room that was magnetic or was wonderful. So you're going to have the positive interactions. You're going to have the recognition from your clients, from your referral partners. You will have those. You really will. Pay attention to your compliments. Please don't downplay them in any way. And think about the times that you have been complimented. Think about the impact you've made on those people that you've sent the referrals to. Think about the impact you've made on your clients. What are they telling you that's happening because of the work you're doing with them? What are your referral partners telling you? Thank you so much for that referral. Someone thanked me for a referral I sent and said, that paid an important bill for me. Thank you so much. Focus on what you're doing that's good. You are doing good things in the world. I've got two more. This next one is more recent, I guess. I'm just noticing a pattern of the more relationships you have, it's likely that two people that you highly respect in some conversation or some instance will inevitably end up complaining to you about each other. And it's hard. It's hard when you hear somebody complain to you about somebody, but you think the world of that person. And you think of the world of the person who's telling you. That's kind of difficult. Obviously, we don't go to the person and say, guess what Mary was saying about you? You don't do that. Just listen to their perspective, see where they're coming from. You're not responsible for that. You're not responsible for making it right. That's their experience, and it doesn't need to diminish the relationship you have with both people. But guess what? They trusted you. So that's something to be grateful for. Like, they trusted you to talk about a bad experience. And you're building trust. You're building rapport. And that's a good thing. Okay, last one. You're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to hear a lot of no. And just something happens when you just hear enough no's, for me anyway. It gets easier. There's something happening right now in my experience, and I'm getting told no a lot. And it's okay, but it's taken me a while to get to this point. One of the things I tell my students, we just got done with a buying signals workshop. It's issuing these invitations to take the next step without being attached to their answer. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is continue to issue the invitations and don't be attached to the answer. You're just inviting. You're not summoning anybody to jury duty. You're just issuing an invitation. When you see that someone might be interested in working with you or sending you a referral, issue the invitation. Issue the invitation to have a one-to-one. Don't be attached to the answer. But guess what? You're going to get told yes. You're going to have someone say, yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I think I will refer you. Yeah, I think I will tag you in that post. Yeah, I think I will come to your workshop. Yeah, I think I will come to your webinar. So you're going to get the yeses too. It's so rewarding to have people put their trust in you, either through sending you a referral or hiring you directly. So rewarding, because you have a powerful magic wand and you can wave it and you can make someone's life better. And that is wonderful. And the more people that you expose yourself to, the more opportunities you have to improve the lives of the people around you through your business. So yet you're going to get a lot of no's and you're going to get those yeses. And that's what we live for. It's what drives us forward, is we know that we're going to get a yes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting this podcast. And when you're ready to create more curiosity about your business, you're ready to elevate your conversations, you're ready to fast forward the small talk button to get to these better conversations, people leaning in to learn more, understanding what you already have that you can use in your networking conversations to create curiosity about your business, you're invited to join the Creating Curiosity Workshop. Starts September 4th. We do 4 virtual trainings, and then we do an in-person practice for local Oklahoma City people and a virtual practice the very next week. So you can join from anywhere and you get practice. One of the things that the workshop students recently told me is, we know we want to use these better answers and we want to use this language that you've been sharing with us. And it just takes a long time for us to get comfortable using it. And so she was very grateful for the practice, just the practice of these simple things that we can say in our networking meetings when people ask us questions. And so they're loving the practice sessions, and it's so much fun to, get down in the trenches with you all and help you get comfortable with answers that make you that allow you to put your very best foot forward instead of answering the question on auto reply, and to practice getting comfortable doing that. There'll be a link in the show notes for the Curiosity Workshop. Go and network, my friends. The emotional resilience is there for you. Keep moving forward. Keep moving your conversations forward. Keep moving your relationships forward. Practice forgiving yourself. I'm rooting for you.